Okay, cool. So this presentation is about the bounties that Nethermind is presenting at the ETHGlobal London hackathon. For context, I am Swapnil. I work at Nethermind. I'm a researcher and I work in some products as well. To begin, the bounties that Nethermind is offering, we kind of first need to understand what Nethermind is. And Nethermind comes in different forms and different ways, different how you're looking at it. But at the core, it's scaling Ethereum and looking for a more fair, transparent, and open future. So Nethermind works in scaling Ethereum in all forms, in securing Ethereum, in making it faster, in making it better, bringing more people to it, and just opening the channel ways for everyone to accept Ethereum and kind of bring the Ethereum technology to everyone. And in that endeavor, what it means is that we partner with lots of companies that work in the Ethereum ecosystem. For example, we work with the Ethereum Foundation, we work with EigenLayer, we work with Starknet, Flashbots, Lido, WorldCoin, any other company that you can really imagine is accelerating Ethereum values, we work with them. And our bounties are just a representation of our work that we do with these people. And we're promoting use of these technologies and hopefully see some cool, novel ideas from you guys. Right, first little question. I am always happy to take questions in the call or in the meeting and wherever you are. Come to the hackathon booth, and I'll be there helping answer questions. Cool. So one of the technologies that we really believe in is zero knowledge. Zero knowledge allows one to prove execution of a program to a verifier without the verifier having to re-execute the program. Blockchains are using ZK everywhere now. There's ZK EVMs, ZK co-processors, there's ZK for privacy, and we work with quite a few solutions that use ZK. There's Starks, which is the base ZK system of Starknet. There's a lot of technologies that are looking to do proof aggregation, and we have interest in proof aggregation as well because we believe it accelerates Ethereum. And there's privacy solutions. One could call WorldCoin a privacy solution, where it bridges your identity from the people who can verify your identity. And we promote everyone to use privacy solutions and just ZK technology for accelerating Ethereum. These are some challenges that we've put out for using ZK technology, but you are free to choose any solution that you like, and there's more resources at the QR code below, which links to a more wider discussion of what you can use ZK tech for. But some easy implementations of ZK that you can do is implement a novel ZK publication. There's always new advances in ZK research, and there's Nova, there's Hypernova, and there's every day some new stuff is coming out. If you have an interest in implementing it, come please talk to us. We have ZK researchers who will help you understand the details of the paper, help you go implement it, and achieve new novel solutions. Then there's proof aggregation, which is in line with Vitalik's vision of singularity, where everything is just making a ZK proof and everything just settles onto Ethereum at one point. But to do that, we need to aggregate proofs from everything. A roll-up, my Excel sheet, my smartwatch, everything needs to aggregate a proof, and everything settles on Ethereum. And we have some ideas on how to implement proof aggregation. If you have interest in that, come talk to us. And there's always educational tooling. ZK can be dark magic, but if no one understands it, then there's going to be lack of social trust in it. So if you have an interest in implementing tooling that makes it easier for other people to understand ZK, we also will be interested in that. Then there is maximal extractable value. And maximal extractable value, or MEV, just is an inherent property of blockchains and more so, I guess, distributed systems. It's this process where you can strategically choose what transactions go in which order, and you can change the properties of the block itself. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in MEV. There's PBS and MEF boost, which is an idea of separating the process of block building from proposing, which leads to better MEV alignment. There's base precomps, which is supposed to move the role of sequencing rollups onto Ethereum itself, while still having the same properties of like 100 millisecond sequencing. You can still, I believe this is kind of the next wave of directions of the Ethereum aligned rollups. And if you have any ideas, we have people in the team working on base preconfirmations and also on implementation. So please come talk to us. And then there's Suave. That is, I guess, not one word to define Suave, but in general, it is a magic SGX box that lets you define any MEV strategy and execute it trustlessly. We work with Flashbots on this one, so if you're interested in implementing new novel solutions like novel auctions for AMM or lending pools, please come talk to us for that as well. There are some of the bounties that we have up for MEV challenges is like pricing of pre-confirmations and block futures. The question really is how do I calculate something that I don't know yet, and it's kind of looking to the future, pricing it back. If you have an interest in economics or any of those, please come talk to us. You'll see two QR codes here. The one on the right is for developing swaps, which are apps on Swav, and we're collaborating on Flashbots that one. So there are some inspirations from the Flashbots forum that you might be interested in. And yeah, on the left is a more detailed list of what challenges we are putting up for MEV. Then there's data availability. Just yesterday was a big day for data availability. Then Kuhn went in. 4.4 is live on Ethereum now, and we all are seeing the amazing effects of it, like sub-cent transactions. But there's a long way to go. We all know that. There is validiums and violations, which Vitalik was talking about yesterday, where you store the data all off-chain, but you just prove the computation on-chain. And that also has merits where everything now is settling onto Ethereum, but is scaling like a centralized server. Sort of the best of both worlds, but some properties that are a bit different. There's lots of out-protocol DA solutions, EigenDA, NearDA, but there is no concrete analysis of which one's better or what specific properties they offer. If you have an interest in like setting some numbers up to it, like setting some comparative analysis or an SDK that lets roll up stews between different DA layers at a given time based on which one is cheap, that would be a great solution in my opinion for out-of-protocol DA solutions. Right. And also, these new DA solutions are actually lacking a lot of tooling and dashboards where there's not a lot of transparency, what's in the blob, what's in the commitment. And I think there's a long way to go in like educating users of what blobs really do and what these external DA layers do and how can we make it better for everyone. Then there is user security enhancements, and this is kind of in line with Ethereum's 2.0 vision, where we've been building Ethereum and we've been working really hard on making Ethereum be able to build the platform that we want. We want to have a decentralized internet, and we're getting close to that. And now it's now time to make sure that our security is also lined up with that. So account abstraction and all these other technologies help a lot towards this direction. Then on Starknet, we have Cairo-Lang, which is a safe by default language. You do provable computation, but also the language is organized in a way where you cannot leave unsoundness errors in your program. And there's a lot of tooling to be built around this. I mentioned Cairo-Lang already. There's Pimlico, which is an account abstraction SDK, which we can use to build a lot of safe tooling for users. There's also slashing protection software with staking and restaking on the rise. I think it's an important measure that we take to protecting solo stakers from slashing, because we do not want to we want to make sure that they can participate in this new economy, but we do not want to put the risk of restaking on them. So maybe there's some solutions we can do in that direction. Maybe SGX or there's other directions. If you have more interest in this, come please talk to me at the booth. Yes, there is RIP 7614, which is adding stack trace to each execution, which really enhances user security and also the user experience. Imagine going to the blockchain and getting a stack trace back for a reverting transaction. That really changes the paradigm, and we're no longer stuck with the old tag of it's Web3 and it's just not the same experience of developing. We can kind of retain those values even while being decentralized. Then there's also modules in wallets where I can extend my wallet that hey, only sign if the value is less than $10 because this is my safe account. I share these keys with my friends, but I don't want to just spend more than $10 on this account. Right. Blockchain infrastructure tooling. We've been building all these amazing DA layers and rollups and EigenLayer AVSs, but all of it is in fact running some kind of node in some server somewhere. And if you don't make it easy to run these nodes and manage these roads, we will just have a systemic risk at our hand. So we need to kind of make sure that we make that easier. On this effort, there is EigenLayer AVSs, Obel DVT, Layer 0 DVN, all these new networks which really accelerate Ethereum and really let us push the boundaries of what we can do. But all of them require tooling and orchestration and DevOps. And to make sure that we don't have the systemic risk, we need to make sure that we have stable tooling, stable guides, and really good just infrastructure ready for any solo staker to participate in this economy. So some solutions that we are looking for is some tooling and dashboard, maybe some one-click solutions to deploy a layer 0 DVN network, maybe a one-click tooling to deploy some EigenDA nodes and make sure that they can't be equivocated. Yes. So come talk to us at our booth again, as I mentioned, because we have some good ideas on this. Right. The slides seem to be messed up there. Okay, cool. Well, there's account abstraction, and Starknet is a layer 2 network, which is supposed account abstraction natively. What that means is there are no EA accounts. There is no like a legacy behavior on Starknet. You can only do cool stuff in some sense. You can do multi-calls where the whole pattern of approving some spend on an ERC20 and then spending it can now go, because you can just do that in one transaction and you don't have like multiple infinite approves left on money apps, and which can later be exploited, and which we've seen in the past as well. Um, in fact, there's some suggestions to even remove the approve function from ERC20 on Starknet, because you can just merge that into the transfer. There's Pimlico, which provides an SDK for account abstraction, and there's some really good ideas what we want to do with account abstraction. Maybe we can do something like, hey, I only want to do transactions if I send an email. People know how to use email, and we can now connect the email to their smart contract account. Hey, I only want to spend $10 through my email, and I can now program that, and the users, like my mom, can be safe. In this Welcome ID, right? This is like one of the big protocols in proof of personhood area. And if you ever want to build this kind of reputation systems and like more social organizing on the blockchain, we kind of need some proof of personhood protocols, and Welcome ID is a great direction in that direction. And there's so many use cases to be built with Welcome ID. Like, hey, I want to sign in with my Welcome ID, scan my irises. No one else can sign into my account now. So some of the IDs. Oh, right. Sorry, that's the wrong order. Yeah, some other bounties that we have in the account abstraction track are visualization of the bundles and solvers. There's a whole network like now doing this intent solving, but we need some light in the Stark forest. I want to see which is the solver centralization. Is there only one solver just footing all of us? If so, then there's maybe some game theoretic incentive for them to like at one point do a massive attack on all of us. Infrastructure to make cross-chain control of accounts easier. Right now, in this world, what we have is an account on each rollup or each network, and I have to control them individually through that network. But what if I had one account on Ethereum, which controlled all my accounts on all other networks, and I could just sign once on Ethereum and it would just do everything everywhere else? So there's a lot of tooling to be built in that direction with account abstraction. Infrastructure to manage cross-chain MEV. With this idea of this chain abstraction and Swap coming around doing cross-chain transactions, there is undoubtedly going to be cross-chain MEV, and the users should get protection from that. They should be able to maybe get some MEV back, express how they should be MEV'd, because the space is open and there's no clear solutions here. So please, if you have ideas there, come talk to us. And obviously there's account abstraction modules where we can have novel paymasters. I can now pay in ERC20s, I can pay with new tokens, USDC, or whatever I like. And most importantly, I think that something I'm excited for is recovery mechanisms. Today, if I forget my private key on an EOA, I've lost it. That money is never going to come back. We have some ideas of like social recovery where I can delegate an admin like myself or my different account. But I'm thinking, what if I can just do a forget password and recover my account through an email? That would really accelerate like Ethereum adoption, in my opinion. And that's an easy challenge. So if you have any ideas for that, come please talk to us. Metaverse, I mean, there's a whole company devoted to it now. Metaverse is now like the blend of creativity of this space is a bending. We have Apple Vision Pro, which is just really changing the world. We have AI coming along. So there's so much creativity in the space to be explored. And blockchain should really accelerate it. We should not like shy of it. Some solutions that we have in the space is Starknet, which is a layer 2 network, which offers like incredible compute. You can do so much computation, and if we want to build a new future of like metaverse, we should have it on chain, and we need loads of compute for that. So Starknet is the perfect solution for that. We also work with Improbable, which is a gaming company, and they're designing like new immersive worlds. They're designing new tooling to make metaverse easier, to make metaverse adoption like faster. Some ideas that we have is like creating dynamic, evolving environments using AI or like generative AI, where I land into a space and just maybe like based on the number of people there in the space, it changes the space. Maybe it's listening to what you're talking to and it's just on real time changing the space. Some AR solutions where, I don't know, my presentation should probably be in AR and not in this real world. Enhancing gaming experience through Starknet's capabilities. A good example that I would suggest is randomness. It's really hard to get randomness, but we have some good solutions for randomness on Starknet using VDFs. So I would encourage the use of that in some game generation and map generation. Then there's institutional. And I kind of see this as the old world, and we kind of need to make sure that we bring the old world along and impart our values to the old world. So it's kind of, in some sense, I see Nethermind's goal to bridge the difference between the old world, the TradFi, and the new world, and kind of impart some of our values to the old world and bring them along, and not just build a silo of our own. There's so many technologies that we've built that are so useful for the old world, and I can bridge the gap seamlessly. There's Starknet, again. Institutions need lots of compute. They need it quick, they need it fast, and they need it cheap. With Starknet, you have some amazing computation available to you, maybe some Monte Carlo simulations, some derivatives, some financial assets that you just can't do on Ethereum right now can probably be enabled by Starknet. Again, Pimlico, it enables people to have like a programmable experience of the blockchain. For example, a traditional finance asset manager probably wants some multi-sig on what assets they can use. Maybe they want escalations like, oh, I see too much of this asset being used. Some manager should step in. And we can enable those enforcing those hierarchies through Pimlico. There's MEF share, because again, as I mentioned, MEV is just an emergent property of distributed systems. But there's a big problem with MEV in the institutional world. But maybe we can bridge the gap through the MEV share, where MEV share shares the MEV that was extracted from a user back to the users themselves. Some other solutions that might be interesting for you is like on-chain KYC AML. There's like ZK tech, so you can make it privacy preserving as well. Tokenization standards. How can we bring the old assets on-chain? How can we make them cross-chain? How can we enable like people to trade them with the ZK KYC? Proof of personhood solutions for institutions. How can we make sure that the people who are trading these assets are safe and not like gonna use them for wrong reasons? Maybe some proof of personhood solutions will help us there. And usage of Suave, because now we can give Suave uses SGX or this trusted execution environment, which makes sure that we can have a quick correctness of computation, and institutions love that. Actually, all of us love that. So we can build some solutions of auctions and some fair auctions using this trusted hardware. Cool. Then the popular one, staking and restaking. And I mean, there's so much happening in restaking world, but also there's so many risks that restaking brings. I mean, the partners that we work here in this section are like EigenLayer and Lido. And I'll focus on some of the solutions that maybe you can look in the staking and restaking world. I mean, there's always the first one, which is new restaking use cases. There's ever-evolving suite of extending Ethereum security to a new network, to a new use case. And I don't think we've actually seen all of them. And I expect that I will see some cool ones at this hackathon. But also dashboards for EigenLayer, OBOL or DVT. What I mean by that is EigenLayer brings a lot of risks, and we need to make that risk apparent to everyone. So we should probably have some published dashboards showing like an overlap of validators across EigenLayer AVSs, showing like liquid staking centralization on AVSs. For example, if there is a new liquid staking protocol that is restaked a lot, but there's some systemic risk with the liquid staking protocol. If that's slashed, then the whole system collapses. And one of the ways of catching this on is first seeing this, making sure this is in front of everyone's eyes, and dashboards and tools like that, in my opinion, really help there. And also, there's restaking related EIPs. What we mean by that is restaking by itself brings a lot of risk to Ethereum, and we can minimize that if we change Ethereum to specifically be safer to that. For example, when you get slashed on EigenLayer through Beacon Chain, as in when your Beacon Chain stake gets slashed on EigenLayer, Ethereum Beacon Chain is not even aware of the slashing. It just thinks that you're running perfectly fine because your slashing is applied when you withdraw from the Beacon Chain. So maybe if you can inform the Beacon Chain, hey, you were slashed through EigenLayer, and the Beacon Chain can react, right? It may be like it reduces the rewards, you are proposed a fewer times, and there's some other changes that can be done to the Beacon Chain design to support restaking and staking use cases. So if you're interested in research areas, please come talk to us. We have a whole suite of research team that are loving to accelerate Ethereum in the research space. Then there's AI and blockchain. I mean, it's emerging, like we just can't stop it. So we have to make sure that we align it. So I think there's good time that we do some Ethereum AI alignment and make sure that AI works for us and not against us. Some solutions in this space is Giza Tech. Giza Tech is provable AI models where you run the AI in a ZK Snark or a ZK Stark. In this case, it's a Stark, and you can prove the execution of an AI model. Like for example, right now when I ask OpenAI, hey, what is the solution to this prompt. It just gives me an answer back. But I don't know if OpenAI is actually running GPT-4. They could just be running GPT-3 or GPT-2, or it could just be hard-coded strings, for all I know. But if they run it in a ZK environment, then I could be really sure that they're actually running this code, and I can consume this string or this prompt with confidence. And I really believe that open source LLMs are the future. I mean, open source LLMs kind of just happened out of mistake of like some torrent leak, but they've been accelerating at a pace which is much faster than we had expected. There's Olama, and there's so many other models really specializing in different tasks and really accelerating how the open community can accelerate and participate in the LLM world. So some of the challenges we ask of you to look into is explore how Starknet and ZK proofs can like do integrity of ML models. Maybe can we train models on chain? I mean, there's the amount of compute is slowly getting unlocked. Maybe some small models are possible to do already. Can we use AI to improve blockchain onboarding? Right now, I go to, let's say, MetaMask, and it's really hard to actually navigate it. Can the AI figure out what language I use, localize instructions to how I use blockchain, maybe even redo the entire UI again to fit my way? Innovations used to AI and trading. What I mean by that is like, trading is a lot of patterns and pattern recognition, and AI is really good at doing that. Can we make sure that the AI can do a MEV share or even start doing auctions? Can AI do dynamic auctions based on changing market conditions? And how can DAOs and on-chain contracts specify their risks or like their wishes in AI? Let's say I want my DAO to have a constitution, and I want it to be fast. Right now, DAOs are slow because they have to vote for each proposal. But if the DAO can express their demands and their constitution in an AI model that goes all the time, and maybe with some subchecks that stop the AI if it goes wrong, I think that would really accelerate the adoption of DAOs, because DAOs right now are kind of slow in action. And lastly, there is the Starknet track. Starknet is a layer 2 scaling solution that uses Stark for zero knowledge and privacy. It enables just a new level of computation in the Ethereum space. You can do Monte Carlo simulations, you can run AI models and whatnot. So some of the solutions that are available in the Starknet ecosystem is Skyrolang, which is their ZK Stark language, enables just unlimited amount of computation. Sharp is a shared prover service. So you can write your program in a nice high-level language and send it to Sharp, and it will give you back a proof for it, which enables just, I forgot to add, cheap proofs for it. And also it verifies them on Ethereum for you, so you can do some off-chain ZK solutions using Sharp just today. And then there's Voyager, which is an API service and a Starknet RPC service for Starknet. Enables you to get seamless data, quick access to Starknet data itself. Some of the ideas that we would like to see is like just pushing the limits of Starknet computation. How can I do some kind of financial derivative that really just pushes the bounds of Starknet computational capacity, using Starknet's native account abstraction protocol for enabling the next generation of users to onboard to Starknet, and also building novel tools using Cairo 0 and Sharp. Cairo 0 is a low-level ZK proof language, so the proofs that you're getting from Cairo 0 are the most efficient ZK proofs that you can get in a nice UI and nice efficient language. So I think that's a goldmine of tooling to be built there. And lastly, you can follow us anywhere. You can come join to our Discord, come talk to us at our booth. We are happy to answer questions. If anyone has questions right now, I'm also happy to chat right now or outside.
Thank you. Hi, thank you for the presentation. Quick question is about Starknet. I'm curious about when you say you can do computation for like Monte Carlo simulation. So my understanding is you should use Cairo, is correct, as a language?
Yes.
And you write a program which you would...
yes. So the question is, if I said in one of my examples, if Starknet you can do Monte Carlo simulations with Starknet, and the question is, do we have to use Cairo for programming that? And the answer is yes. Cairo 1, which is the new version, is very Rust-like. In fact, actually, I tried programming Cairo 1 with Claude, and it works really well. So you don't even have to do that much. You just have to ask Claude to write the program for you. But you can now program your ZK proofs in a Rust-like language on Starknet.
Where do you... sorry, the last one. Where do you store... I mean, can you use the result? How do you use the result, or do you
I see.
store the result, or
Yeah. So as an example, if you're running the Monte Carlo simulation fully on chain, then you could compute the result and just save it in a storage slot, or you could just like emit it in an event and then read the event off chain. Yeah, but you can also send a Cairo Zero program straight to Sharp, where it gives you back a proof. You can consume the proof and the output. So there's various ways to use the output of a Cairo program. Cool. If that's all the questions, then I'm happy to chat outside. Come see us at the booth, at the Nethermind booth, or on the Discord, and I'm happy to answer questions. Thank you.